Round 4 of TCR Europe in 2026 continues here at the Hungaroring, and it is time for the reverse grid race. You thought race 1 was interesting. Wait until you see what happens when we flip the top 10 on its head. Much cooler track conditions compared to yesterday, a lot more humidity in the air, but drivers should have a slightly easier time of things inside these TCR touring cars as we are set for another 25 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. A lot of news to bring you after the conclusion of yesterday's race. We saw Ruben Bolt taking his second victory of the season. However, the Estonian was given a drive-through penalty converted into a post-race time penalty as his ALM Motorsport team was found to be working on the tyres after the 5-minute board, which is a breach of the sporting regulations, which say that no mechanical operation in relation to wheels and nuts or tyre pressures can be done. They have submitted a right to review for that one, so do keep an eye on the TCR Europe news page for the outcome of that one. But for now, it means that Marco Butti is your race 1 winner. He has now officially won for the first time with the Mondial Motorsport crew and in Crew Prep Machinery, and becomes our 6th different race winner in 7 races so far in 2026. It also means that Thiago Pernia has his best finish in TCR Europe as he's promoted up to 2nd, and Victor Anderson claims a 3rd podium finish of the season. There were plenty of post-race penalties handed out as well for various contacts. We saw Victor Chan having an absolutely monumental race up in 6th position, by far and away his best performance of the year, but he was dropped down to 13th position. Still your class winner, though. It also means that Nicholas Taylor, your championship leader, was promoted up to 8th position, and that means he holds a 25-point lead going into this race. So I can see Helena Pinchuk is ready and waiting at the front of the grid to share some insights for us.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So as Chris already mentioned, Victor Chan did an amazing race yesterday, absolutely spectacular. You have to see it if you haven't done yet. So he's starting from the pole position today. Hello, Victor. Is it your first time starting from the pole position in TCR?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's my first time, and it's my first time for this weekend. No, for my Q2 as well. So everything is new to me, and I'm very happy about it in here for the weekend.
So what do you think can happen in this race?
Oh, hopefully it will be a clean race, and then I have a good start, and then fight with all the professional boys and see how it goes.
Okay, I wish you all the good luck for this one. And let's also talk to Victor Anderson. Victor Anderson is on the 4th position in the championship. And hello, Victor. So what can you do from here, from this position, P4 today?
What we want to do, we want to, yeah, I see it's not far away from P1, so the goal is to get close to that. And yeah, let's see, it will be a tough race, tough for the tires here in Hungary, so keep them alive and move forward 2 spots would be perfect.
Also good luck for the race, and we are coming to talk with Mike Halder. Mike Halder in the 2nd position in the championship. Hey Mike, what is your strategy for this race?
Yeah, so I look that I have a very good start and then go forward, and my goal is to win the race here in Hungaroring.
Let's hope for that. So I must say there is an amazing public here in Hungaroring, and I wish you enjoy this race, and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Helena, and yes, we are set to enjoy the great race here to round out the 4th meeting of the season, and championship contenders further down in the grid. Nicholas Taylor still starts outside of the top 10. The Audis really struggling here this weekend. It doesn't help that both of those PMA Motorsport Audis that came here 1st and 2nd in the championship are 2 of our most heavily ballasted cars for this weekend. So the success ballast calculated based on your points scored in the previous meeting. So at Paul Ricard, your highest top scorer was Nicola Baldan. So he comes here with 40 kilograms on his Audi, 30 kilograms for Nicholas Taylor and Thiago Pernia, 20 kilograms for Victor Anderson, and 10 kilograms for Ruben Volt, who still goes from 9th position for this race, as the reverse grid is based off the qualifying result. Victor Chan, who we heard from on the grid, his first Q2 appearance, coached by Esteban Guerrieri, and interestingly, Esteban also coaching Marco Butti, who took pole position yesterday. So he's had both of his drivers starting at the front of the field. He's already had one of them on the top step of the eventual podium after the post-race penalties. So far in 2026, we've been across Europe. We've raced in Mugello, we've raced in Spa, we've raced in Paul Ricard. We're halfway through the 4th meeting of the season at the Hungaroring, and in a couple of months' time we'll be heading to the Temple of Speed at Monza, a very different challenge for the drivers before we round out the season in October in Barcelona. And we have absolutely no idea how this championship is going to look by the end of the season. Not even after this race, I think, because there is an awful lot at stake here. 4.381 kilometer Hungaroring circuit. Mikael Askener's lap record time from 2022 still stands, a 1:53.163. We got close to it yesterday. We also got close to Rob Huff's outright qualifying lap record as well yesterday morning. But Huff's time still stands from 2021. But maybe with cooler conditions, we can have a crack at that race lap record. They were pretty close to it yesterday. Still drivers with some of the doors open, trying to keep some cool air inside the cars. But so far this weekend, it's been all about the Hondas and the Cupras. They seem to be the two best cars. No clear dominant performance. And that is owing to the platform of TCR touring car competition. 4 or 5 door production vehicles from Audi, Honda, Hyundai and Cupra that have been race prepared, powered by up to 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engines, 350 brake horsepower going through the front wheels via some Kumo tyres, and a little bit of balance of performance in terms of equalising power, a bit of ballast and ride height as well to bring those 4 manufacturers as close as humanly possible. And the fact that we've had 6 different winners so far this season, I think proves the fact that the system is working very nicely indeed. So the cars will soon be released onto the formation lap, a last opportunity to get some heat into the Kumo tyres. And Victor Chan, for the first time in his career in TCR Europe, will be leading them on that formation lap. So that is the white and red Honda from the RC2 team that you can see in the bottom left of your picture. The first Hong Kong driver to appear in TCR Europe full-time, and there's a very Asian feel at the front of the grid with the South Korean driver and team. Janui Park and Soleil Indigo Racing starting on the front row of the grid as well, followed by the Swede Victor Anderson, who eventually finished 3rd yesterday. Remember, he's carrying 20 kilograms of ballast, so life may be made slightly more difficult for him. You have to imagine Mike Halder is in a good position there. The Hondas have been working very well. The ALM Motorsports crew certainly know how to run a good car, and he's now up to 2nd position in the championship is the German driver. And the cameras have been following him for TCR Unboxed as well. Be sure to keep an eye out on TCR TV for the next episode of our documentary series for more insights into these drivers. As the cars made their way onto the formation lap now. You can hear the fantastic turbo whistle, a great treat for the ears. Quite the racket that these TCR touring cars make, especially when you stick 20 of them on the grid simultaneously. Here's your starting grid then. Victor Chan starts from pole position in the RC2 Honda. Janui Park in the Soleil Indigo Racing Hyundai starts alongside him. Second row of the grid is the ballasted Victor Anderson, who finished 3rd yesterday. The Montlan Motorsports Cupra starting alongside the Mike Halder ALM Honda, that's now 2nd in the championship. all BRC Row 3. Gabriele Cavini with a puncture yesterday. He starts from 5th position alongside Alex Lee. Fourth row of the grid is Thiago Pernia, 30 kilograms of ballast for him, second yesterday, alongside Felipe Fernandez in the RC2 Honda. Ruben Volt, after losing the win yesterday, goes from 9th, alongside eventual race winner Marco Butti in the Monlau Cupra. Then comes championship leader Nicholas Taylor, 30 kilograms on that PMA Audi, starts alongside Adam Shepherd's Monlau Cupra. 7th row of the grid is Max Hart, the Irishman, and then the sole Icoa Racing Audi of Giacomo Prandelli. He had contact at turn 1 yesterday, be hoping for a cleaner start this time. Nicola Baldown in the 2nd PMA Audi, now 3rd in the championship. He starts alongside Johnson Park in the 2nd Soleil Indigo Hyundai. Santiago Concepcion back in Honda machinery. It's Roger Martino, starts 17th alongside Victor Fernandez's final RC2 Honda. The Janos Chick car that didn't finish yesterday, the local wildcards TCR debut coming to a premature end. Sandro Pilati is the last car on the grid in the SP competition, Cupra. In the championship, Nicholas Taylor's advantage has been reduced. 25 points now, Mike Halder, is behind. Now, Mike Halder still searching for his first win of 2026, his first since returning to TCR Europe, his 3rd or 4th stint now in the European Championship, having dipped in and out of various national competitions and the European Championship. But a win today and a difficult result for Nicholas Taylor could see the German leaving Budapest with the championship lead. So the cars soon coming to the end of the formation lap. Victor Chan, the Tenerife Trophy winner of yesterday. And if you weren't with us in Paul Ricard when that was introduced, it's pretty much a replacement for the Diamond Trophy. So any driver who at the start of the season has not finished on the overall podium is not already in the Youth Trophy and not a champion of any regional or national TCR series is eligible for the Tenerife Trophy. And that includes Victor Chan, Giacomo Prandelli, Victor Fernandez and Sandro Pilati. Also for this weekend, Janos Chick, who is driving the i30 Hyundai, the predecessor to the Elantra. Ruben Volt there, the number 27 car, the Estonian, right of review in place for his post-race penalty that's cost him the race 1 victory. But he won't be thinking about that now. He'll just be thinking about the start of this race and trying to make up as much ground as possible. The start yesterday proved absolutely vital. Ruben Volt did get the better start compared to Marco Butti, and that allowed him to lead into the first corner and eventually, on the road at least, take victory. So it can be absolutely crucial. So Victor Chan pulls up into the pole position slot. He will have the clean line. There is yesterday's race winner, Marco Butti, the white-trimmed Monlau Cupra. The team's looking up to the big screens to see how their drivers are going to be getting along. Tensions rising inside the pit lane and on the grid and on the grandstands as well. The fans have enjoyed a fabulous weekend here in the Hungaroring with various parades and classic car shows, bands and autograph sessions and pit lane walks. It's been absolutely chock-a-blocker with support from the locals. We're going to round out here with race 2 of TCR Europe in Budapest. We're racing for the second time and another very difficult start for the pole sitter. Victor Chan immediately falling down the order, and a very slow start for Mike Halder as well from 4th position. He's plummeted very nearly to last place, and so that means that Janui Park is going to have the whole shot into the first corner, and Victor Anderson moves through into 2nd place with one of the BRC Hyundais sitting in 3rd position already, coming up from the 3rd row of the grid. Ultimately a clean start. Drivers doing very well to avoid the various slow starting machines, so no major dramas apart from slow starts from Victor Chan and Mike Halder, who I think is already trying to come up through the order. You can see Ruben Volt side by side with Thiago Pernia coming through turn 3. That's going to be very, very tight, but it's the South Korean racer Janui Park who leads the way. It's Gabriele Cavini's BRC Hyundai that's emerged in 3rd position, trying to make up for the fact that he was hit in the rear and ended up with a left rear puncture that really curtailed a strong performance from the Italian. And look at this, side by side further back with Adam Shepherd, the TCR UK champion, going door handle to door handle with the Honda of Felipe Fernandez through the chicane. That is very brave indeed, and Adam Shepherd just with half a car length ahead as they make their way into the tight and twisty middle sector. I fear he's going to lose out though through turn 8 and 9. Still side by side with Fernandez here. Brilliant stuff from Adam Shepherd, who I first met in 750 Motor Cup competition some 10 years ago. A multiple champion in M3s, a multiple champion in Type Rs as well, and now champion of TCR UK, moving up to TCR Europe competition. And still side by side with Felipe Fernandez, who eventually has to yield into turn 12. One car goes wide and skips through the gravel trap a little bit. Now Fernandez is side by side with the second Solite Indigo car of Junsun Park. A little bit further down the field. Still they are bumping and shuffling and scraping bodywork left, right and centre at the end of this first lap. Finally they start to settle down a little bit as they come towards the final corner at the end of the first lap. Janui Park leads over the line by 0.8 of a second to Victor Anderson. Gabriele Cavini in third position, but for how much longer? Because here comes Victor Chan trying to undo some of the damage of that poor start. He goes through into third place on the inside of Gabriele Cavini. Also Alex Lee trying to make moves there as well. He was side by side with Marco Butti and Ruben Volt into the first corner. Meanwhile Cavini and Chan banging wheels, the Hyundai and the Honda. Side by side into turn 3 now with Chan on the inside, the Hong Kong driver trying to squeeze out Cavini, and they tag, and Victor Chan is in the wall just about. He comes back across the track, thankfully does not hit anyone along the way. But Victor Chan, a very dramatic moment coming through turn 3. Thankfully, nobody collecting that car. Brief yellow flags are being displayed, but Victor Chan moves across his way now. And, oh, goodness me, that was a tense moment. But Victor Chan now all the way down towards the rear of the field. I can tell you that Nicholas Taylor, championship leader, only down in 14th position at the moment. Mike Halder is 12th after that awful start from the second row of the grid. He has recovered some of those places, though, because he was next to last when they went through the first corner. So looking back at Adam Shepherd once again from the view of Thiago Pernia, the Argentinian driver who had his best finish in TCR Europe yesterday after inheriting second place. Look at the top two moving away. Janui Park ahead of Victor Anderson. Quite a few seconds now, about 2.5 seconds back to Gabriele Cavini and Alex Lee. The two BRC Hyundais working together. The two PMA Audis are now line astern as well at the moment. Baldan and Taylor. Oh, that was a very scruffy moment there for Adam Shepherd. He came through the penultimate corner sideways in the Monlau Cupra there. The 34-year-old Briton just hanging on to the place for now. Once again, we see Alex Lee having to get his elbows out because here comes Ruben Volt, the Estonian driver, the ALM Motorsport Honda, to the outside of the first corner, trying to go the long way round. And surely Alex Lee is not going to let that lie. He squeezes him out to the extremities of the circuit on driver's left. Ruben Volt not taking that line down either and still sticks it back up the inside into turn number 2. This is the battle for 4th place. And Ruben Volt's now up into 4th position. Now splits the two BRC Hyundais. And arriving on the scene as well is Marco Butti, your race 1 winner. He's now just behind Alex Lee. On board with the Italian driver as he rises up the hill. A lot more speed coming towards turn 4, very nearly into the back of the Hyundai. Coming through that high-speed left-hander. In touring car racing, if you're not rubbing, you're not racing. So Cavini ahead of Volt, ahead of Lee, ahead of Butti, and then just behind him, Thiago Pernia as well, Adam Shepherd, Junsun Park, and Santiago Concepcion inside the top 10. We can see again that very difficult start for Victor Chan, but Mike Halder just does not go anywhere off the line. He eventually gets it going, and good avoiding action from Eric. You can see practically stationary here from Marco Butti's perspective. It's a very difficult start for the German. There is, sorry, that was not Marco Butti. It was Butti eventually storming past the car we were on board with there. So a couple of very difficult starts because it looked like the Icoa Audi also really struggled off the line. This is from the rear of the pole sitter, Victor Chan. You saw that Victor Anderson just dived to the right-hand side straight away. And Chan did well to hold on to 4th position and not lose yet more places after A very difficult getaway though. See side by side with Marco Butti, just squeezing him out there, then becomes side by side with Alex Lee. This is the contact again between Gabriele Corvini and Victor Chan. You see Corvini, did just move left ever so slightly, didn't he? And coming back across the track like that is a very, very worrying indeed, because you're out of control and not everybody can see you, but thankfully no major dramas there. As it was a tag for Adam Shepherd there from Johnson Park. That's why he was a bit sideways into the penultimate corner. Alex Lee under pressure from Marco Butti here through turn 2. Thiago Pernia in the white Honda behind, trying to chase, but it's the Hyundai, the Cupra and the Honda as they run up towards turn 4 once again. Butti in the red Cupra with the white trim on it, your race 1 winner, the Italian driver, trying to put the Mugello race winner under pressure here. Through turn 5 we go. Alex Lee, remember he smashed his car to smithereens in qualifying at Spa, did not take part in that weekend, having dominated the Mugello weekend with a first and second place finish across the 2 races. And here we're going to see how that all started, because Marco Butti was on the grass trying to find the inside line coming in towards turn 2 and did nudge into the left rear corner of Alex Lee, but all's fair in love and war in TCR touring car racing. Look at Janui Park running a very strong race here, a 2.5 seconds clear of Victor Anderson as it stands. Side by side further back with Adam Shepherd coming under pressure from Santiago Concepcion, the Spanish driver who has come up from 17th on the grid to now be inside the top 8. Tag in the rear from Mike Halder there in the car ahead of him, which I think is Johnson Park. Yes, it was. They bang wheels again as Halder goes to the outside of the final corner. This is the battle for 10th position. Halder on the recovery in that grey, white and red Honda after not getting off the line very well at all. Side by side with Halder to our left as it stands. Felipe Fernandez getting a good view of that as there is Butti to the inside of Alex Lee. Butti now up into 5th position, if he can hang on to it. Side by side for 3rd position as well, with Ruben Volt to the outside of Corvini, who pushes Volt out wide. He wasn't going to take that line down at all, and Corvini getting his defensive driving down to AT. There is Butti up into 5th position now, ahead of Alex Lee. So now he'll set his sights on the battling Corvini and Volt for a spot on the podium. 16.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. We've had plenty of drama so far. We've still got yet more to come. Drivers running wide through the turn 4, and a false start for Mike Halder. But it was such a poor start for Halder. Was he out of his grid box, I wonder? Because that is very surprising to see. Maybe he was creeping a little bit and jumped the start ever so slightly, and that's why he ended up getting a poor start. So this was a car into the back of Halder, who in turn was then into the back of Johnson Park. Solite Indigo here on the verge of having both their drivers become race winners. Johnson Park a winner towards the end of last year. Janui Park yet to take a victory in the championship. In fact, even yet to take a podium finish. So this would be a very good day indeed. The 2 PMA Audis side by side through turn 12 there, and that looked like Nicholas Taylor, the championship leader, and they're trying to go through. They've got Max Hart, the Irishman, on their back bumpers as well. So the 2 teammates coming under pressure from an outside force, and a smoking left rear tyre here for Johnson Park. Now, we saw this with Gabriele Corvini yesterday after contact, and after a couple of laps, he did have to come in and get that tyre replaced. So dramas for one of the Solite Indigo cars, and it looks like it's going to be hoovered up here by the 2 PMA Audis, Nicholas Taylor and Nicola Baldan going either side of the Hyundai. Baldan ahead, and Taylor going to the inside, and the teammates touch! Dramas for the championship leader, and he's got broken suspension. The championship leader is out of the race. Unbelievable drama. Once again here as Volt and Corvini continue their battle for 3rd position. And Mike Halder surely has got to be thinking, I've got to finish inside the top 5 now. I could leave here with the championship lead if he finishes inside the top 2 anyway. Goodness me, what dramas here. The 2 PMA Audis coming together. The championship leader with damage to the front end. Baldan seemingly with damage too. I think they're both continued on, so we won't need a safety car. Whoa, into the back of Thiago Pernia goes Santiago Concepcion. The two Squadron Martino cars now coming together. Take it easy, boys. You're supposed to be working together here. Goodness me. Absolutely fantastic stuff in the second race of the weekend for TCR Europe. Max Hart going way, way wide there as he goes round the limping Johnson Park. And now the Icoa Audi, the number 22 of Giacomo Prandelli, trying to find his way through as well. And Victor Chan on the recovery as well. He goes past Prandelli into turn 11. This is all for 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th as it stands. And now the Hong Kong driver, your pole sitter, remember, way back about 10 minutes ago on the inside of turn 12. And takes 13th position away. So the recovering Victor Chan after that contact with Gabriele Covini that pitched the pole-sitting Civic around. 13 minutes plus 1 lap to go. It's looking very tame at the head of the field. And Marco Butti now on the back of the leading BRC Hyundai. So Covini's lost 3rd position. He might lose 4th now with Butti, race 1 winner, trying to go around the outside. Covini shoves him off the circuit to the outside of the first corner, and so Butti then forced to go off the circuit and takes the wider line into turn 2. Does he spy a Cupra's width on the inside there? Just nudges the left rear corner of Covini. He'll be very used to that by the end of this weekend. He's had plenty of bumps and shuffles already, has the Italian, as Alex Lee battles with the two Squadron Martino cars, Pernia and Conception, filling his mirrors at the moment. Bit of damage on Conception's car. It's effectively a return to the RC2 squad for Conception, as it was last year. The RC2 squad partnering with the Argentinian crew, and a safety car has been deployed. Now, no obvious reason that we can see, so potentially some debris as a result of the various contacts we've seen so far. And yes, the two PMA Audis parked up at the side of the road. And my goodness me, is there going to be a very, very interesting debrief in that camp tonight. Nicholas Taylor and Nicola Baldan trying to go either side of the limping Johnson Park car. Taylor a bit hot on the brakes and slams into the side of his teammate. And so Melina Ferrari, the team manager over at PMA, is going to be having some words with his drivers, I think, to put it mildly. This was how Ruben Volt got around Gabriele Corvini. A little touch on the exit of turn 2, just rubbing wheels there, but a beautiful undercut from Ruben Volt there to take 3rd position away from Gabriele Corvini. And we can stop and breathe for a little bit because, my goodness, this has been an absolutely outstanding race, full of drama. Brilliant news for Mike Halder as well, who's got himself inside the top 10. He now has the opportunity to close up on the cars in front of him and to try and do a little bit more recovery after a terrible, terrible start. If Halder finishes inside the top 2 now, he will leave here as the championship leader. We see Johnson Park's Soleil Indigo Hyundai coming into pit lane as Gabriele Covini did yesterday under safety car to replace that smoking left rear tyre that the bodywork has been rubbing up against. Just under 11 minutes, plus 1 lap to go in the second race of the weekend for TCR Europe here in Budapest. The championship leader is out of the race, as is his teammate. So Nicholas Taylor and Nicola Baldan, who was 3rd in the championship going into this race. They've come together in dramatic circumstances at turn 1. They are parked up at the side of the road, both PMA Audis. And this does conclude a fairly dismal weekend for the Paolo and Marchi and Solani team. But what we do have is Janui Park leading for the first time in TCR Europe, fighting for not only his first podium, but his first victory for the Soleil Indigo team. Victor Anderson, podium finished it yesterday, hunting for his first victory of the season. In 2nd place, the Mondial Motorsports crew. Also looking for his first victory in TCR Europe, having moved over from the Mondial Motorsports team over to... I've moved to the Mondial Motorsports team from his family MAGP squad and the Lincoln Co. Ruben Volt in third position. Our race one winner on the road, aggrieved to lose the victory to a post-race penalty and out for vengeance now, and that's brought him onto the back of Victor Anderson. Remember, the top two were pulling away somewhat. Gabriele Corvini hanging on to fourth position, with Marco Butti breathing down his neck in fifth position. Our race one winner for the Monlau crew, Alex Lee in sixth position in the second of the BRC Hyundais. Thiago Pernia leads his teammate Santiago Concepcion. The two Argentinian Hondas, 7th and 8th at the moment, with Adam Shepherd 9th, Mike Halder in 10th position after an absolutely dismal start from the second row of the grid. Felipe Fernandez is 11th ahead of Max Hart. Victor Chan, despite the spin and contact at turn 3, still leads the Tenerife Trophy in 13th position ahead of Giacomo Prandelli. Janos Chick, his debut TCR weekend, going much better than it was yesterday, with Victor Fernandez in 16th, Sandro Pilati in 17th, and Johnson Park having been released onto the racetrack with a fresh left rear Kumo aboard. But Nicola Baldan and Nicholas Taylor out of the race. That is the headline here. First and third in the championship. The two teammates coming together at the first corner and bringing out this safety car, which was not going to be welcome news for Janui Park, I am sure. The Hyundai was not a fancied machine going into this one, I will say, but Janui Park is proving everyone wrong at the moment by leading Victor Anderson's Cupra, and then the number 27 Honda of Ruben Volt. So we've got three different manufacturers inside the top three as it stands. The drivers weaving to maintain and generate tyre temperature under this safety car period. Get a handful of laps at the very least in when the safety car does eventually come in. There we could see Johnson Park just at the back of the train. So it's a slight indigo sandwich, the grid at the moment, with Janui Park leading the way and Johnson Park bringing up the rear. Just under 7 minutes plus 1 lap to go. So don't forget, TCR Unboxed to come in the coming weeks after this race weekend. So on TCR TV, another opportunity to learn a little bit more about our drivers, get some insight into the championship. And after this meeting of the season, this meeting here in Hungaroring, on the 26th of September, we are back for the penultimate round of the championship in Monza. I'm getting this out of the way now because I feel like once we get going again, I'm not going to have too many opportunities to tell you about things like TCR Europe Unboxed and the coming races to round out the season, because the safety car is going to be coming in this lap. Roughly 5 minutes plus 1 lap to go when the safety car peels in and we get the cars back over to the start and finish line. And Janui Park and Victor Anderson fight for their first TCR Europe victory at the head of the field, but they have got a very aggrieved Ruben Volt right behind them. And this could be an opportunity here for the Estonian to fight his way through. The South Korean racer for the South Korean team leading them through the penultimate corner. He puts his foot to the floor. We are back racing once again, just over 5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. The cars around the final corner, and once they get over the timing line, they can go racing once again. Over the start-finish line we go. Janui Park with a good restart there. He leads by just under 0.4 of a second to Victor Anderson, side by side with Marco Butti, trying to get himself into 4th position ahead of Gabriele Cavini. Chops across the front of the Hyundai, under braking for the first corner, and does get that move done, does the Italian. Yesterday's race winner up into 4th place now, behind the guy he was following for the entirety of race 1 yesterday. Park leads, Anderson leads Volt into turn 2. Butti now in 4th, ahead of Corvini. A clean restart here. Nobody getting into the side of anybody as the two teammates go side by side. The two Hondas from Squadra Martino. Concepcion on the inside of Thiago Pernia. Now, how's that going to work out by the time they get up to turn 4? This could be very, very messy indeed. We've already seen teammates wipe each other out at turn 4. It looked like side by side at the head of the road as well, with Pernia we can see around the outside of Conception. Conception on the inside can take the place. Ruben Volt going for second place now on the outside of Anderson, going into the 6 and 7. Chicane cuts across the road, so he won't be able to keep that place, but he's come out ahead of the Swedish driver for now. How is that going to go down in race control? We'll see shortly, as Perny has been able to fight back on the inside of Conception there to retake 7th place. Still, they are not done as they run nose to tail through the middle sector. So here we see wide moment there for Victor Anderson, and then very tight to the inside at turn 5. That's what allowed Ruben Volt to get the run around the outside. And so could he make up for the disappointment of yesterday's post-race penalty? Side of Santiago Conception there, trying to go for 8th position. Around the final corner we go. Still Janui Park leads the way. He's 1.3 seconds ahead of Ruben Volt, who maybe lost a little bit of ground while he was trying to round up Victor Anderson. 3 minutes plus 1 lap to go. And Marco Butti is not finished yet. He's taken 4th place away from Cavini. He's now looking at Victor Anderson for a spot on the podium. Big dive on the inside there from Mike Halder in the number 7 Honda. He goes to the inside of Conception and takes 9th position away from the Spanish driver. But will he be able to hold it on the exit of the corner? Because it looked like Felipe Fernandez was having a run there as well. Fernandez having a run on Thiago Pernia. So Fernandez actually making up places on this restart. So we're going to go 3 wide into turn 3. That's not going to work at all. Max Hart to the inside there. The Irishman going wheel to wheel with Victor Chan and Adam Shepherd by the looks of it. Yeah, Victor Chan and Giacomo Prandelli, I should say. Adam Shepherd just up the road, and it's Max Hart who just about emerges on top coming through turn 5. Plenty of dust being kicked up as they monster the curb through the right-hander. Chan trying to come back at Hart here. Victor Chan has been having the best weekend of his career. Took a best finish on the road at the very least yesterday. And look, there's the local wildcard driver being rounded up by Johnson Park. So Janos Chik getting passed again by the South Korean racer, recovering from the puncture earlier on. Wide moment there for Thiago Pernia, and Felipe Fernandez squeezing Mike Halder over onto the grass, coming towards turn 12, and he's locked up his brakes, but he just about got it stopped. Runs wide on the exit of the corner. So comes out side by side once again with Felipe Fernandez and barges into the side of the Spanish driver's door. Halder was not very pleased with that maneuver, I'm sure. They're both behind the Concepcion and Pernia Hondas now as they make contact again. Halder getting pushed through the final corner by Felipe Fernandez there. I said all's fair in love and war in TCR touring car racing earlier, but I think they might be pushing it a little bit now. Booted to the inside of Anderson as we still see Halder and Fernandez fighting away into the first corner. Fernandez to the inside, that's 9th position for the Spaniard, but Victor Anderson is coming in under increasing pressure here. And Bouti's through. Bouti's through into 3rd position, so he's rounded up his teammates. The Italian going past the Swede, and yesterday's race winner is now back onto the podium places with a 1.6 second gap or so. 2.1 now make that as they go through the first timing split on lap number 12. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race now. The timer will run out on this lap, and then there'll be 1 lap to go between Janui Park and a maiden victory in TCR Europe. Can Ruben Volt do anything with that? We haven't seen anything come up from race control about Volt taking a place off the road. Oh no, dramas for Adam Shepherd. The Cupra in the pit lane with a problem, so that's 3 down now towards the end of this race. But 1 lap remaining here, and Janui Park continues to lead, soaking up the pressure from one of the most successful drivers in TCR Europe competition, a 7-time race winner in the form of Ruben Volt, a winner earlier this year at Spa-Francorchamps, a winner on the road yesterday. Mike Halder and Felipe Fernandez still going hammer and tongs here in their battle for 9th place. They haven't been playing entirely fairly with each other, I would say. Some words might be had after this one, but the clock has hit 0, and Janui Park will soon trip the timing beam to start the final lap of the race. He leads by 0.6 of a second over Ruben Volt. and they are 3 seconds clear of Marco Butti in 3rd position. So can Ruben Volt go from 9th to 1st here and take victory once again in TCR Europe? It would be his 2nd of the season. Janui Park has never been on the podium in TCR Europe, let alone on the top step of it. Select Indigo Racing, they know how to win races. Johnson Park took victory towards the end of last year, back in Barcelona in the final race of the season. Can Janui Park make it 2 wins for the South Korean team and add his name to the illustrious list of different race winners? Big slide coming through turn 4. That is going to incentivize Ruben Volt. Through turn 5 we go, but how many opportunities is there realistically for Ruben Volt to try and get through? It's a tight circuit here at the Hungaroring. It's provided plenty of drama and action, don't get me wrong. But Janui Park is going to be under big pressure through the last few corners here. Half a lap to go. Much wider line coming through turn 9 there. Flat out through turn 10. Again, very wide on the entry. Ruben Volt, the Estonian, looking very composed here, piling on the pressure on the South Korean racer. And wide they both go, in fact, over the white line and over the curbing onto the runoff area, but through turn 12, and I think so long as he gets through here safely, there's not going to be too many opportunities for Ruben Volt to try and come through. Janui Park could make himself the 59th different winner in TCR Europe if he just keeps it neat and tidy. 1 quarter to go here for Janui Park to take a monumental victory in TCR Europe. A return to Budapest for the championship has provided no end of drama here, and Janui Park is a race winner in TCR Europe. He takes victory in race 2 in Budapest, 0.3 of a second ahead of Ruben Volt, and Marco Butti rounds out the podium. The 2 Squadron Martino cars absolutely neck and neck over the line. Pania ahead of Conception in 7th and 8th position. What a race, what a return to Budapest, what a weekend of racing. The championship is going to have a very, very different look. But Mike Halder coming across the line in 11th position, so Nicholas Taylor will still hold the championship lead despite not finishing this one. But Mike Halder failing to take advantage of that one with a difficult start and a difficult recovery. But let's talk about Janui Park, his first podium, and it's on the top step. Select Indigo Racing have 2 race winners in their camp now. And a remarkable performance from Janui Park. The 20-year-old racer, previously in TCR Italy, a winner in TCR Italy, now a winner in TCR Europe in his sophomore season in the regional championship. Fantastic stuff. Let's go through the 4 results then. Janui Park becomes a race winner in TCR Europe for the first time, the 59th different winner in the championship. Ruben Volt goes from 9th to 2nd. Great race from the Estonian. And Marco Butti makes it back-to-back podium finishes after his race 1 victory. Victor Anderson in 4th position ahead of Gabriele Cavini and his teammate Alex Lee. Thiago Pania leads his teammate Santiago Concepcion over the line with Felipe Fernandez and Victor Chan, your Tenerife Trophy winner, rounding out the top 10. Mike Halder in 11th position after that very difficult start. Johnson Park recovered from the puncture to 12th position in the end. Great stuff from him, ahead of Max Hart, Janos Chick, Giacomo Prandelli, Victor Fernandez and Sandro Pilati. Your last car over the line. Adam Shepherd pulling into pit lane with problems in the end. But the big drama there, both PMA Motorsport Audis, 1st and 3rd in the championship, out of the race after coming together, trying to round out a slow-moving car. So that now means it's Victor Anderson in 2nd place in the championship. Just 14 points is Nicholas Taylor's advantage now. Mike Halder has dropped down to 4th in the standings behind Anderson and Marco Butti after that very, very difficult race. And Nicola Baldan now down in 6th position in the championship. But look at that. Just under a win's worth of points now separating the top 6 in the standings. Taylor, who came to this race with a 25-point lead. It is now being slowly but surely eradicated. So the cars making their way back towards the pit lane and to Parc Ferme, and we will see the celebrations of the Select Indigo team, who are there ready and waiting to receive their newest race winner. I'm sure Ruben Volt would have thought that the win was on, but still a excellent result from the Estonian, making up for the disappointment of yesterday's post-race penalty. And Marco Butti alongside them on the podium as well. Marco Butti taking his third podium finish of the season. And there is the embrace. There is the relief, the joy for Janui Park. And look at that, Marco Butti getting in on the celebrations as well. Very happy for Janui, as I'm sure many people in the paddock are. Epic is the word for Ruben Volt there. Yeah, who said you can't overtake at the Hungaroring? 9th to 2nd. Monster stuff from Ruben Volt. Everybody wanting to get the snap. New profile picture, I'm sure, for Janui Park after this one. That's the celebrations for Ruben Volt there as well, but I'm sure the Solar Indigo team will be celebrating into the night. Just soaking up the moment for Janui Park. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say to Helena Pinchuk when she finds her way over to our race winner, when he's ready. And the helmet off, the necessary caps and logos on display now, and some final words with the team. Janui Park, #1 in TCR Europe here in Budapest. Solar Indigo's second victory in TCR Europe. Both of their drivers now race winners. And a fantastic day for Janui Park. And he becomes our 7th different race winner in 8 races as well. Only Nicholas Taylor has taken more than one victory so far this year. Super competitive stuff. And in a day where the Hyundai was not the fancied machinery, we were talking about the Hondas and the Cupras going into this one. But Janui Park has upset the order here, hasn't he? Ah, penny for the thoughts of Victor Chan. What a race that could have been were it not for the contact with Corvini. Still a weekend he can be very, very proud of indeed. Highlights from race 2 then. A very difficult start from the pole sitter, Victor Chan. An even worse one from Mike Halder from the second row of the grid. Thankfully, nobody running into the back or into the side of any of the slow-moving cars. That allowed Janui Park to take the lead of the race, with Victor Anderson moving into second place and Gabriele Corvini's Hyundai running in third position, just nudging the back of Victor Anderson coming through the first corner. Contact with Corvini and Chan through turns 2 and 3. Chan dropping down like a stone, but thankfully not being collected. The battles raged on all the way through the field, with Mike Halder and Felipe Fernandez getting very well acquainted with one another. Smoking tyre for the second Solar Indigo car of Johnson Park. And then this moment between the PMA Motorsport Audis, the championship leader out of the race. His teammate, another championship contender, out of the race as well. A very awkward moment for the PMA teammates. Santiago Concepcion and Thiago Pernia put on a fantastic display, the two teammates. Battling wheel to wheel very intensely, but soaking up the pressure. Janui Park ahead of Ruben Volt, a new race winner in TCR Europe once again, our 7th different winner in 8 races, a first for South Korean racer.
Grandissimo.
So the celebrations running long into the night for Solar Indigo, I'm sure. A fantastic day for Janui Park. And we will shortly go to the podium with Marco Butti collecting his 3rd podium finish of the season. Ruben Volt back on the podium again, but only for the 2nd time this season. His victory at Spa and this 2nd place finish here, his only appearances on the rostrum. But let's hear the South Korean national anthem for Janui Park. the South Korean national anthem ringing out for Janui Park. Ruben Fernandez, the series promoter, congratulating our top 3 drivers. Marco Butti with another trophy for this weekend, and Ruben Volt, the second place trophy there. And big smile on the face of Janui Park for that fantastic race, soaking up the pressure from a much more experienced driver who's been there, done it, got the T-shirt. Victor Chan will join the drivers on the podium as well as the Tenerife Trophy winner. I'm sure he would have liked to be in the fight for the overall podium. A mighty display this weekend, all in all, from Victor Chan. The Diamond Trophy winner on the podium as well. And so we'll pose for the photographs. Still the last couple of trophies to be handed out. So I'll just remind you once again, TCR Unboxed coming up in the next couple of weeks. A lot to unpack here from this Budapest weekend. Absolutely incredible stuff. And TCR Europe will be back for the penultimate meeting of the season in Monza, the 26th and 27th of September, before rounding out the season in Barcelona. But what a return to Budapest for TCR Europe. Absolutely thrilling stuff all the way through the weekend. 2 incredible races and 2 more incredible rounds still to come in 2026.